I met Mara when I was 23, back in our hometown, a small city where everyone knew each other. We clicked at a mutual friend's barbecue, bonding over our love for live music and late-night diner runs. Mara was magnetic, always the loudest laugh in the room, with big dreams of moving to a bigger city. But she had a reckless streak, like she thrived on chaos. I liked her energy, though, and we became close. Texting daily and hitting up local festivals together. She'd drag me to karaoke nights, where she'd belt out pop songs with no shame, and I'd cheer her on. Even if I was too shy to sing, things shifted when Mara got involved with my brother, Jake, who was 25 then, the same age as her. Jake's always been a charmer, the kind of guy who dates around and makes it clear he's not settling down. Mara met him at a family cookout I hosted, and sparks flew. I warned her he wasn't looking for anything serious, but she brushed me off, saying she could handle it. They hooked up for a few weeks, nothing official, but Mara fell hard. When Jake moved on, she didn't take it well. One night, after he ignored her texts, she showed up at his place, saw another girl's car, and keyed both their cars in a fit of rage. The damage was bad, deep scratches across the hoods. Jake pressed charges, and Mara had to pay restitution. It was a mess. I was furious with both of them, Jake for being careless with her feelings, Mara for letting her emotions spiral into destruction. My family was upset, and I felt stuck in the middle, trying to keep the peace. Mara apologized to me tearfully, saying she was heartbroken and lost control. I felt bad for her, knowing how much she liked Jake, but I couldn't excuse what she did. Still, I didn't want to lose our friendship entirely. We stayed in touch, but I kept my distance, only meeting up occasionally for coffee or group hangouts. I thought we could move past it, but looking back, that drama planted a seed of doubt about her. As the older sister, I've always been the mediator in my family, smoothing over fights and making sure everyone got along. That role made it hard to let go of Mara completely. I wanted to believe she could change, but her impulsiveness stuck with me, like a warning I couldn't ignore. When I moved to a new city a few years later, I hoped our friendship could stay steady, even if it wasn't as close as before. Mara's chaos with Jake was a red flag, but I didn't realize how much it would shape what happened later. Despite the distance that grew between Mara and me after the drama with my brother, I still hoped we could rebuild our friendship when I moved to a new city. At 31, I was starting fresh, far from my hometown, in a bustling urban spot where I didn't know many people. My social circle was small, just a handful of coworkers and my boyfriend, Tom, who'd been my rock since we met a year earlier. So, when Mara texted me in January 2025, saying she and two of our old friends, Lisa and Sarah, wanted to visit for my 31st birthday, I was thrilled. Birthdays have always been a big deal to me, a chance to feel connected, and this one felt like a milestone after a lonely year of adjusting to a new place. Mara took the lead on planning, which surprised me given our rocky past. She suggested a weekend getaway, dinner in my city with Tom and some local friends, then a drive to a nearby city for clubbing and a girls' trip. I loved the idea. I spent weeks coordinating, booking a restaurant for a group of 10, and mapping out bars for Saturday night. Mara was full of energy, sending group chat messages about outfits and playlists, and I started to see glimpses of the fun. Carefree friend I'd known in my 20s, I thought maybe this trip could mend things between us, like a fresh start. Deep down, I was nervous about Mara's impulsive side, but I pushed those worries aside. I was so grateful for the effort, 3 friends flying in just for me. I told Tom how much it meant, especially since I'd felt isolated, struggling to make new friends in a city where everyone seemed too busy to connect. He was excited too, offering to help with dinner plans and even suggesting a cake from my favorite bakery. I spent hours daydreaming about the weekend, picturing laughter, dancing, and maybe even a heart-to-heart with Mara to clear the air. This birthday wasn't just a party. It was a chance to feel at home in my new life. I wanted it to be perfect, a memory to hold on to. I didn't know then how wrong things would go, or how Mara's chaos would turn my special day upside down. But in those weeks of planning, I was hopeful, ready to celebrate with people who mattered to me. All the excitement I felt planning my birthday vanished the moment the weekend began. Mara, Lisa, and Sarah arrived in my city on Friday, but things went wrong fast. Mara had booked a same-day hair appointment without telling us, swearing it'd be quick. It wasn't. They showed up to dinner 2 hours late, leaving me, Tom, and my local friends waiting at the restaurant. I was annoyed, but tried to keep the mood light, greeting them with hugs. When I pulled Mara aside to say the delay threw off our schedule, she rolled her eyes and said, "Relax, it's not a big deal." Her cold shoulder stung, and she barely spoke to me during dinner, making the night feel rushed and tense. Saturday was worse. After a fun but hectic day, we hit a club in the nearby city, dancing and laughing for hours. I thought we were back on track. Then came the walk to the car. As the local, I suggested a route through the crowded downtown streets, but Mara insisted she knew a shortcut from a previous visit. I hesitated but followed, not wanting another fight. Her route led us into a maze of dark alleys, and we wandered for nearly an hour, exhausted and freezing. I said, "Mara, this isn't working. Let's go back," she snapped. "Stop calling me out. It's not the time." Her tone cut deep, like I was the problem for wanting to get us home. Then Mara realized she'd lost her phone, probably at the club. Sarah, our designated driver, offered to circle back and look. Mara lost it, yelling, "You don't even care about my stuff." Sarah stayed calm, but the argument escalated. At a stoplight, Mara jumped out of the car, shouting, "Just leave me here." We begged her to get back in, but she refused, unless we kicked out 2 local girls hitching a ride with us, one whose purse was stolen and needed help. I was stunned. "Mara, they're stranded," I said. She didn't care. The chaos peaked when she opened the car door on the interstate, forcing Sarah to slam on the child locks. We were all shaken, screaming at her to stop. We searched for her phone until 6 a.m., finally finding it under a club table. By then, I was done. I felt drained, disrespected, and betrayed. The next morning, I packed up and went home, canceling the rest of the girls' trip. Alone in my apartment, I cried on my birthday, the one day I'd hoped would feel special. Mara's chaos had ruined it, and I couldn't shake the feeling that she didn't care about me at all. After the birthday disaster left me in tears, I couldn't shake the weight of Mara's disrespect. I drove home that Sunday morning, my heart heavy, replaying the chaos of the weekend. The joy I'd felt planning my 31st birthday was gone, replaced by exhaustion and a deep sense of betrayal. For 2 weeks, Mara didn't reach out, no call, no text. Nothing. Lisa and Sarah, the other friends who'd come, sent heartfelt apologies, saying they were mortified by Mara's behavior. Their kindness helped, but Mara's silence spoke louder. I kept wondering if I'd overreacted, but every time I thought of her yelling on the interstate or dismissing my hurt, I felt justified. Finally, Mara messaged me. I opened it, hoping for an apology. Instead, she wrote, "You acted like a birthday bridezilla. You should have been grateful I even came." My jaw dropped. She went on, saying she wouldn't have cared if I'd messed up her birthday. I stared at my phone. "Stunned," I replied, pouring out how her actions showing up late, getting us lost, causing a scene made me feel invisible on a day that mattered to me. I brought up her cold shoulder at dinner and the danger of opening the car door on the highway. Her response, "You're blowing this out of proportion. Get over it." That was it. No accountability, no remorse. I sat with Tom that night, telling him everything. "She's done this before," I said, thinking back to the car keying incident with my brother. Mara's pattern was clear. Act impulsively, hurt people, then dodge blame. I'd forgiven her once, hoping she'd grow. But this was different. My birthday wasn't just a bad night. It was a wake-up call. I told Mara I was done. I need friends who respect me. I wrote, then blocked her number. It felt final, like cutting a cord I'd been holding too long. Word got around, and some mutual friends from back home reached out, urging me to forgive Mara. She meant well. One said, "She flew all that way for you." Their words made me doubt myself. Had I been too harsh? But then I remembered Mara's non-apology, her refusal to listen. I talked to Lisa, who agreed Mara crossed a line. "You don't owe her anything," she said. Still, I wondered if I was wrong to end a friendship over one bad weekend. So, I'm asking, was I unfair to cut Mara off? Or was I right to stand up for myself? After cutting Mara out of my life, I felt like I was carrying a weight I couldn't put down. It was Tuesday, just 2 days since I'd blocked her number, and I was still reeling from the birthday mess. That night, I sat on the couch with Tom, my boyfriend, spilling everything: how Mara's chaos ruined my day, how her bridezilla jab cut deep, how I cried alone in my apartment. I don't get why she couldn't just say, "Sorry," I said, my voice cracking. Tom listened, then squeezed my hand. "You did the right thing," he said. "She disrespected you." Plain and simple. His words helped, but I still felt raw, like I'd lost something bigger than just a friend. The next day, I called Sarah, the designated driver from the trip, who'd seen Mara's meltdown firsthand. "I'm so sorry about your birthday," she said right away. She told me she was fed up with Mara too. How Mara's yelling in the car and that stunt on the interstate scared her. "I've never seen her act that bad," Sarah said. "You don't deserve that." Hearing her validate my feelings lifted some of the fog. Sarah even laughed, saying she'd nicknamed Mara Hurricane after that night. It felt good to know I wasn't alone in seeing Mara's true colors. Later, I scrolled through social media, trying to distract myself. That's when I saw Mara's post, a vague quote about ungrateful people who don't appreciate real friends. My stomach twisted. It was clearly about me, and it hurt to see her paint herself as the victim. A couple of mutual friends liked it, which made me question myself again. Were they siding with her? I wanted to call them out, but stopped myself. Instead, I opened my laptop and started writing a letter to Mara, one I knew I'd never send. "You made my birthday about you," I typed. I needed a friend who'd show up for me, not make me feel small. Putting it into words helped me see what I valued: respect, accountability, real connection. By Wednesday, I decided to focus on the people who mattered. I texted Tom and a couple of new friends from work, planning a low-key dinner for the weekend. Nothing fancy, just pizza and laughs at my place. It felt like a small step toward building a life here, one without Mara's drama. I was relieved to move forward, but part of me still felt guilty, like maybe I'd been too quick to end things. Mutual friends kept texting, saying Mara didn't mean it, and I should give her another chance. Their words nagged at me, but deep down, I knew I'd made the right call. I just hoped I could stick to it. 3 weeks after cutting Mara off, I was still sorting through the fallout, but I felt stronger. The guilt from mutual friends' texts had started to fade, replaced by a quiet confidence in my choice. That weekend, I went to a coworker's game night, my first big social outing since the birthday mess. A couple of mutual friends from back home were there, visiting the city, and Mara's name came up. "Have you talked to her?" one asked, her tone hinting I should patch things up. I took a deep breath and said, "She didn't respect me, and I'm done chasing apologies." The room got quiet, but another friend nodded and changed the subject. It was tense, but speaking my truth felt good, like I was finally setting boundaries out loud. A few days later, my brother Jake called, catching me off guard. We'd always been close, but the Mara drama years ago had strained things. "I heard about your birthday," he said. "I'm sorry she put you through that." He opened up about his own fallout with Mara, how her clinginess and the car keying incident shook him, and how he wished he'd warned me more. "I wasn't great to her either," he admitted, and that probably didn't help. His apology meant a lot, like we were closing a chapter. We ended up talking for an hour, laughing about old times, and it felt like we were siblings again, not just people tied to the same mess. I started journaling that week, something I hadn't done in years. Writing helped me untangle my feelings about Mara. I realized her chaos ignoring my warnings. Blowing up my birthday wasn't new. I'd had friends like her before, people who thrived on drama and left me cleaning up their messes. Seeing that pattern was a wake-up call. I didn't want to keep repeating it. Then Mara sent a message, a half-hearted, "I miss you, but you overreacted. No sorry, no accountability." I didn't reply. Her words just confirmed I'd made the right call. Tom and my new friends kept me grounded. We had that pizza night I'd planned, and their easy laughter reminded me what real friendship felt like. I also joined a book club at a local coffee shop, diving into novels and meeting people who shared my love for stories. It was small, but it felt like I was building something solid in this city. I was starting to feel empowered, like I could choose who got to be in my life. Losing Mara hurt. She'd been a big part of my 20s. But I was learning I didn't need her chaos to feel connected. Still, I couldn't ignore the ache of letting go of someone I'd known so long. 2 years after letting go of Mara's chaos, I found a peace I didn't know I needed. I'm 33 now, thriving in my city, no longer the lonely newcomer I was. My social circle has grown friends from work, my book club, and Tom, who's now my fiancé. We got engaged last month, and planning our future feels like a dream. Looking back, that disastrous 31st birthday was a turning point, a hard lesson in choosing who gets to stay in my life. It's strange to think how one bad weekend reshaped everything, but I'm grateful it did. Last summer, I reconnected with Sarah, the designated driver from that awful night. We met for coffee when she visited town, and the conversation naturally drifted to Mara. Sarah shared that Mara had pulled similar stunts with other friends storming out of events, blaming everyone else for her mistakes. "You dodged a bullet," she said, laughing. Hearing that validated my choice to cut Mara off. It wasn't just about my birthday. Mara's drama was a pattern, and I was better off without it. Sarah and I have stayed in touch, and she's become one of my closest friends, someone who shows up without strings attached. My brother Jake and I are closer than ever. Too, he's grown up a lot, settling down with a steady girlfriend and leaving his player days behind. We joke about the Mara saga now, like when he teases, "You're welcome for the warning sign." Our bond feels stronger, built on honesty after his apology years ago. That talk we had back then healed something, and I'm glad we've moved past the tension her drama caused. I've embraced boundaries in all my relationships, and it's been freeing. I used to feel pressured to keep everyone happy, saying yes to friends who drained me. Now, I choose people who respect me, and I'm not afraid to say no. That shift started with Mara realizing I didn't have to tolerate disrespect just because we had history. It's carried over to work, family, even small things like declining invites that don't feel right. I feel lighter, like I'm finally in charge of my own story. My 33rd birthday last month was everything. My 31st wasn't. Tom threw a small party at our favorite Italian spot, with Sarah, Jake, and a few others. We ate pasta, clinked wine glasses, and laughed until midnight. No chaos in sight. I looked around and felt so full, not just from the food, but from knowing I was surrounded by people I could trust. That night, I thought about Mara for the first time in ages, not with anger, but with a kind of closure. She was part of my past, but she didn't get to define my future. I'm grateful for how far I've come, and for the people online and off who helped me see my worth. Your support back then gave me the push to stand firm, and I hope sharing this helps someone else find their own strength. Here's to building a life with the right people, one drama-free birthday at a time.